Hey YouTube world, I am back with another video. Today I want to cover my top 5 indestructible or most durable bags. These are all bags I've had for a while and have been on heavy rotation. Some of these are oldies, but definitely goodies, so I like to spark some ideas for all of you. The big luxury brands keeps coming out with new collection after new collection, and we all know about the quality decline and along with all of the crazy price increases, right, with some of these brands. So I know I've been on a tear with purchasing new bags, so I think it's really time for me to revisit my older bags and show some appreciation. So enough yibber-rabbering, let's get right into it. So the first one I want to cover here is my Chanel single flap, and this was featured in my top everyday bags as my date night bag. And honestly, I do wear it to date night or just an evening out quite often, but I also use it when I'm just going out shopping or, you know, just any day, right? I don't have a specific date night bag that I go to from, you know, every single time. And this is a bag that I just use as my default. And why is this indestructible? None of these bags are indestructible, right? But for me and my experience with using these bags and their wear and tear have just been impeccable, right? And I did purchase this pre-loved, so I was not afraid to use it, right? I can easily put it down on the table or hang on the chair, and it was really carefree. And this bag is from like early 90s. I think it was like 1994. So for this condition, and it has not gone through, you know, a bag spa, which I think eventually, maybe in a year or two, for considering how much I use this bag, I may have to send it over to maybe leather surgeons to get it refurbished, redone, repainted. I don't know, whatever magic that they do, right? But I think that this is one of the most durable bags because look at the condition of this, as well as the structure of it. The leather, you can see, is aging, but it's aging quite beautifully in my opinion and has a lot of character. And it's such a practical bag, right? Again, I've talked about this before, where the back pocket is so clutch for you to just put a phone in here and have easy access, which is not something the classic flap, the classic double flat has. And I think that is something we all need nowadays. And you can see the corners of these have not worn. There's no peeling or anything. There's a little bit of cracking happening here. But again, in my opinion, for such an old bag, you just don't see the quality that you would see back in the day and how well it's made. So that is my first indestructible / durable bag. The second bag I want to go over is my Saint Laurent Nikki, which is funny because you've seen my entire Saint Laurent collection. Did you guess that this was one of my favorites and one of the most indestructible / durable bags I have? The reason why I think this one is such a durable bag is because of its leather as well as the hardware that is on this. You won't see the age of this bag. Again, I've taken this overseas. I've thrown it into my carry-on, flattened it out, and it still looks amazing. There's not much structure to this bag, but again, that's just the design of it. So I love bringing this with me on a trip as well because you can easily just flatten out. Obviously, I'll put a dust cover on it so that it doesn't get creased or any pressure marks from other things that is in my carry-on, but it is such a carefree bag. Again, it's due to the mock croc leather, and it's also, it feels like suede. So it's not like a shiny mock croc at all, which obviously the more I use it, the shinier it may get. But again, you can't tell at all that it is it still looks brand new, right? The corners have worn beautifully. It has no tear, no pipe exposure. And again, I've thrown this bag literally around and it has just been impeccable. So the other thing I think also contributes to why this is such a hard-wearing workhorse bag is because of the logo. Normally YSL, you can see it's the shiny logo, it's the metal gold, which also can contribute to the age and showing of the age of the bag, right? Because of all the hairline scratches or just scratches in general. Whereas this one is covered by leather, I believe. It feels like leather, so you can't tell if there's a little bit of wear and there's no scratching on the YSL logo, which also helps with how durable this bag is and how it's gonna look really great 5-10 years from now, no matter how many times I wear it. There's a little bit of wear here, I just noticed, but again, you can't tell, right? The little rubs that is kind of flattening out compared to like this corner, let's just say, you can't tell. So I highly encourage you to take a look at this particular, not just the Nikki or any YSL bag or any bag that doesn't have the shiny hardware can contribute to help you how long lasting this bag can be. And I really like this one because the magnet is super, as you can see, very strong. And then the insides of it is just an open compartment. There's no divider like the Sunset bag. So it's very spacious and the bag itself is very lightweight. Even if you load it up, I think the weight distribution has been designed very well, so it doesn't feel very heavy at all. There's a front pocket here, again, very similar to like the Sunset bag, except there's no middle compartment here, so you can literally fit so much stuff in there. And then of course, my beloved back pocket right here, you can easily put your phone. So this one is long enough for you to crossbody or wear it as a shoulder bag. And the chain, you can see, is going to be double leather straps, so it will be very comfortable on your shoulder even if you wear it all day. So definitely one of my favorite bags. Another thing I want to point out is that the metal, again, gold is usually my thing, but this one in particular is like a gunmetal hardware, which also won't look dated or faded, so to speak. If you have gold hardware, when you see faded gold hardware, it becomes very obvious, right? Whereas this gunmetal, you can't tell if it's old or new. It's made to look kind of vintagey or used. So I think that also helps with how this bag looks very durable. Third bag I want to cover is my Celine, and you've heard me in my previous video. If you haven't seen that video, where it's my top 5 everyday bags, this is one of my favorite travel bags as well to go on vacation with. This one is the Celine Belt Bag, and this is very much like the Saffiano leather, and I've taken this all around the world and just kind of thrown it everywhere. It doesn't have feet, which, you know, could be sometimes a little concerning if you put it on the floor and there's wear and tear. I mean, obviously I don't really put my bags on the floor, but this one has worn incredibly well. There's no corner wear. All of the glazing has still, there's no, literally, look at this. It looks brand new, right? If this came off the shelf and said, hey, this is brand new, you probably would believe it, right? And I love how it is very timeless as well. The Celine logo is wearing a little bit, let me see. Kind of, not really, right? So this, if this one were to wear off, it's not a big deal, but that's not the part where I touch very often either, right? Most of the time you would be touching the opening enclosure or maybe the top handle. But again, if you look at the top handle, I literally just grab this and go. So you can see that there is absolutely no wear. And again, I do stuff it so that it maintains its shape. It's not as easy as the Nikki bag where you can just throw into your carry-on and flatten it. This one I do if I carry my Lululemon travel bag. I do put it in a dust bag and put it in there so that it doesn't get crushed. But you can see inside it's just an open compartment, very spacious, and then also the suede lining. It's got a little pocket here but I won't do like a full review or anything, but it comes with a shoulder strap as well. The shoulder strap also has worn very well as well. And all of these bags that I've talked about, this one I've had for a number of years. That one I've had a number of years. This one, maybe about a year, 2 years now. Before I get into the last two bags, and there is a bonus item, check out some of my other videos and see my other bag reviews. We don't have to pay retail for all of these nice things, and I do talk about pricing in most of my videos. These bags I'm covering today have been out for a while, so you can definitely get them well under retail, and it's totally worth your money. And be able to use them for many, many years to come without actually having these, you know, look kind of dated or anything. So the fourth bag I want to cover is so underrated. I know Chloe does totally, they don't hold their value, but for a number of years, I want to say maybe over 10 years, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Marcie has been their iconic bag, right? They've gone through many cycles, you know, with their Faye bags, their totes, what else is there? Daria. Can't remember some of the lines that have always been like the it bag for like a hot minute, and then you don't see them at all. And then when you try to resell them, they're not worth much, right? The Marcie has been a tried and true. If out of all of these, if you were to ask me like which one is the most durable bag and indestructible, definitely the Chloe Marcie. This one's in the medium size, so might be a little big for some of you. This one works very well for me as a crossbody, and I've again loved this bag, very similar to the Nikki bag where I got some stuff in there, but if you were to take the stuffing out, you can easily flatten this bag and put it in your carry-on without having any worry at all. The soft grain leather is super, you know, supple, and it's very durable. The zipper is like amazing. If I can get a hook on right. The zipper is very amazing. So if you want to travel with this bag, it's very secure. The inside is just a massive open compartment with one little pocket. And then there's also another pocket here where you could put your cell phone. The handles and the glazing have just been perfect. There is a little bit of wear on the hardware of the chain, but I think that's due to rubbing. But again, I've had this for, I want to say 8 years now, and it still looks amazing. So I love this one. This was my first Chloe Marcie. I loved it so much that I actually got it in the small size and a black version with the gold hardware. So I actually got this from Last Chance, and it was like maybe $500, but it didn't come with a strap. So I did buy a Kiwana strap, if you can see that. And it's funny enough because the leather is like the same exact leather, so it works very well with it. Inside is the same, and you can't believe how much stuff you can fit in here. It's crazy. But again, indestructible bag. I throw this bag literally everywhere, on the floor, on the bed, and it has just done so well. Look at the stitching. The stitching is still impeccable. I probably need to like use leather conditioner. See, that's the thing about black bags, right? This is why I love beige so much. Black bags, the handle does look a little bit faded, but I'm sure with some black leather conditioner, I think that would come back right to life. But again, so underrated. And if you are looking to get your first designer bag that's gonna last you for a long time, I wanna say decades, again, just my opinion, you can easily find this on the pre-loved market for a really good price. For a small one, I wanna say you can get them as low as like $300 or $400. And if you're just looking for quality bags and something very iconic, totally worth it. Highly recommend that you do not buy this brand new. The last one I want to go over is my Chanel Camellia WOC. Another indestructible bag in my opinion because of the green leather, and I've used this so much. I use it for work travel. I've taken it on vacations. And it's just a really easy to use bag that you can actually insert in your larger bag and you just want to grab something and go. I did a full review on the 2 Chanel WOCs if you want to check that video out. I will link that for you, but I did get a base shaper. So you can definitely fit 2 phones, wallet, and whatnot on it. And this bag is from, I want to say, this is a series 29, so it is going to be from 2019. I got this pre-loved from the Japanese vintage market, and again, I just feel like I could be using this for years to come without having it to look dated. And it's a very classic design, again, with the corners. The stitching of everything is just amazing. Of course, there's the famous pressure mark from here. That is unavoidable, but another one of my Indestructible purse here. I do have the Chanel Boy WOC, and there has been wear on the corners of that, which is why I feel like that is not an Indestructible bag, and that's why this one is. And they're caviar too. Both of them are caviar. The corners were already worn. And for the last category, I didn't want to include this because it's kind of like a no-brainer. Obviously, if you're looking to buy a durable bag, the Louis Vuitton canvas is basically indestructible if you take good care of it. But it's kind of a given, so I didn't want to be boring. But of course, just to show you my Neo Noe, something I throw around as well, and it just still looks like it's in great condition. And I've had a number of Louis Vuitton bags in the canvas, and they've all gone through a lot with me, and it's still in impeccable condition. The only thing I would want to say about canvas and how you can tell it's old is that when it starts to go like this, right? It starts to flip upwards. I don't know why that's the case. I've looked at a lot of vintage Louis Vuitton from like Japan or just here in the States. If you don't take care of it, a lot of these Louis Vuitton pieces will end up going like this. So I'm not sure exactly why that is. Maybe it's the way they stored it. It's on pop, like it got pushed down and then it starts fraying this way. Not sure, but that's one way you could tell like the canvas has been sort of pressurized, if that's the right word. But again, I just wanted to make that a bonus Indestructible bag for you as a category. So I hope this was helpful going through my tried and true bags. I want to tag some other YouTubers, especially the ones who are building their channels like I am. I'd love to see what your picks are compared to mine. Check out some of my other videos on how to buy pre-loved from Japan, and then there are some other reviews here. Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and less in retail. I'll see you next time.